Hi everybody, this is Dr. Palmer. I just wanted to go over Chapter 1, and Chapter 1 is about the changing face of business. So if you look at the learning objectives, we're going to start out with actually defining what is a business, and then we're also going to identify and describe the factors of production, so all the elements that go into making a business run and operate. We're going to describe the private enterprise system as we have here in the U.S. Going to identify the 6 eras in the history of business. Going to look at how today's business workforce and the nature of work itself is changing. So some of the demographic changes, some of the changes that are going on with the workforce or the people involved. Going to identify the skills and attributes needed for the 21st century manager. And look at the characteristics that make a company admired. So looking at the first element of what is business, let me just get everything up here for us. Obviously, a business is a profit-seeking entity that provides either a good, something you can touch or feel, or a service, something that's done for you, like a haircut within an economy. So you do have tangible goods. For examples, computers, televisions, those are all tangible items because you can touch those products. Then you have services such as a car wash or even a dentist or a barber or hairstylist or manicurist. These are all services being done for you, a waiter or a waitress. Not-for-profit organizations, their main objective is to give back to the community. They are not in a business to make a profit. They get the majority of their money from donations from other people, and they work using a volunteer base. For example, the Red Cross and American Heart Association. And you can go here and see a list of the Fortune 500 for a list of major U.S. companies. Okay, let's look at some factors of production. Obviously, there are things like natural resources, any type of like minerals, water, land. You know, when you think of a natural resource, one of the most popular items comes to mind. It's like gasoline, core, you know, these type of things. Capital can be anything like buildings. It can be money. It can be technology. Human resources, that's very people-oriented. It's going to be hiring the right people for the team and for the organization, the employee makeup of the business. And entrepreneurship is someone who owns their own business. So these are all elements of factors of production. You can also go to this Occupational Outlook Handbook link right here. It's a very good link, and you could do a search for any job or career that you're interested in, and it will give you all the information about it. A job description, the upcoming outlook over the next years, how much that job pays, the salary or pay range, the requirements needed to do that job, the educational requirements or experience. So I highly recommend going to that link. The private enterprise system, here are just capitalism. That's what we have in America, where Americans, we can start our own business. There's not a lot of rules or regulations against us not being able to start our own business. We can also own land and property. So that's pretty much our economic structure that we have here. We have minimized government intervention, whereas in some countries, you know, you're not allowed to own property or start your own business. We don't have those type of laws and regulations here. And we're a profit-seeking nation, and anyone can go into business for themselves if they so choose to. So again, here are some basic rights in a free private enterprise system. We can compete, we can own property, we can go out and, you know, have a business and turn a profit, and we have a choice of what we want to do. Do we want to work for a company, or do we want to make our own company? So those are some of the rights as an American has in the United States. Here are just some of the business eras. It's kind of interesting to see. Prior to 1776, we were mainly an agricultural society. After that, the Industrial Revolution through 1850, it was more of a mass production with semi-skilled workers. Then in the late 1800s, we had more advances in technology, leading to industrial entrepreneurs. Through the 1920s, there was more of an emphasis on providing more goods faster, so we started getting into this production phase or production area where companies were manufacturing goods on an assembly line more so. Marketing came into play 1950s, where we became more consumer oriented and seek to try to understand consumer behavior. And then now, since the 1990s, we've been in this relationship era where companies really want to build relationships with their customers, keep them happy, also any of their stakeholders in the organization. It could be a supplier relationship. A company's trying to, foster and keep going. So there's a lot of different history in business, and this is a pretty interesting outline of it. Today's business workforce. Today's big business workforce is technically savvy. They do have a global mindset. They are able to work in global markets, and they're willing to do so. They're capable of high quality production, and they're dedicated workers. Asians and Hispanics are the fastest growing ethnic populations in the U.S. right now. And diversity is definitely preferred in organizations. So having a diverse ethnic, age group, gender base, these are all preferred employee bases. Changes in the workforcing. Outsourcing is coming more popular, where companies are, they may, if they are based in Texas, they may outsource some of their manufacturing to a company in California. Offshoring that's considered more like having a call center in India, and the company is based in the U.S. So that's considered offshore outsourcing. So outsourcing in general has changed the workforce and the company. It changes your employee base, whereas now you may have employees who live in India, or you may have employees that are in California when your company is actually based in Texas. So these are some things that are changing. And they're not the only things, but it is pretty predominant. The 21st century manager obviously needs analytical skills. They need to be creative. They need to be able to lead change, and they definitely need a vision, being able to think outside the box. So these are all great skills for all of us to have, and to work on developing and just consciously thinking about these type of skills. These are some things that make a company admired. Solid profits. You look at like companies like Google or Target. Stable growth, a safe and challenging work environment, high quality goods and services. And a lot of companies are admired for their business ethics and their social responsibility. A lot of companies are going green with their operations, for example, or they're giving back to the community or the world at large by donating cash or resources. So these are what makes is what makes a company admired. And you can go to this link right here and see the Fortune's list of most admired companies. Well, there you have it. I hope you enjoyed Chapter 1, and I will be up soon with Chapter 2. So have a great rest of your day.